I Hold You in My Heart, a children's book and parent guide to helping children cope with loss. Written by Larissa Nickson, LCSW, illustrated by Kimberlee Petillo. Forward. This book is dedicated to my cousins and our babies, Charlotte, Carter, and Lyra. They will always be loved and remembered. To everyone reading this story, I hope this helps your child to cope with grief or the loss of a loved one. As a mental health therapist and as a woman who lost a child, I know that grief can be confusing and overwhelming. This book provides some healthy coping skills for your children to use while they navigate through challenging situations in life. Author's note: I use the term lost in this book rather than the specific words like died or removed from parent, so that the person reading the book to the child can enter their own appropriate word or phrase. There is evidence showing that using vague terms to inform a young child that someone has died can be confusing for the child, and it may be best to provide brief but factual information to help them understand. If you feel comfortable using more specific terminology, please do. I intentionally wrote this book vague enough to be used in a variety of challenging situations that children may face. The moon observed the young elephant who sat by the watering hole crying. The moon had been watching the elephant for a few days and saw that she was having a difficult time with her feelings after losing her mommy and daddy. Sometimes she would be sad, other times angry, sometimes scared, and sometimes she was able to forget for a little while and laugh and play. One night, the moon decided to talk to the elephant and help teach her ways in which she can cope with her feelings. The moon taught the elephant that it is okay to have mixed-up feelings when you lose someone. The moon also taught the elephant that at first she may be sad almost all of the time, but eventually, if she tried to practice all of the things the moon taught her, she would only feel sad sometimes. The moon also taught that her family would always be with her. She carries them in her heart. The elephant listened to and practiced everything that the moon taught her. One day, she hoped to be able to help others the way the moon had helped her. Charlotte the elephant was walking through the forest on her way to take a drink from her favorite watering hole. As she walked, she noticed a butterfly sitting on a bunch of purple flowers. The butterfly looked sad. "Hello, butterfly. I love the color of your wings. How are you today?" Charlotte asked the butterfly. "Oh, I'm okay. I was just looking at these purple flowers and I started to feel sad," said the butterfly. "Those are beautiful flowers. Why are they making you sad?" The butterfly paused for a moment and then said, "I lost my mommy and daddy a few days ago. I don't think they are coming back. Purple flowers were always our favorite to relax on, so when I saw these flowers I started to think about my parents and I missed them." Charlotte replied, "I lost my mommy and daddy too. I'm sorry that you lost your family. Do you want to take a walk with me? I'd like to show you something." "Okay, I'll walk with you." "My name is Carter. What's your name?" asked the butterfly. "My name is Charlotte." Charlotte and Carter walked together through the forest and talked about their families. Charlotte shared that she and her family used to spray each other with water from the watering hole for fun every day. Carter shared that he and his family would fly to new places every few days, so he had seen many parts of the world. Charlotte also shared that she missed her dad turning everything into a song and missed her mom reading stories to her. Carter shared that he missed his mom's funny jokes and his dad's smile. Eventually, Charlotte and Carter arrived at the watering hole just as the sun was beginning to set. The sky was lit up in beautiful purple and pink colors as the sun was fading from the sky. Charlotte said, "When I see a purple sunset, it always reminds me of my mommy. We used to watch the sky change colors every night together at this watering hole. Sometimes I feel sad because I think how much I miss her when I'm watching the sunset. But other times I smile because I remember how happy we were when we watched it together." The elephant and the butterfly continued to watch the sunset as the colors faded from the sky. "Next time I see purple flowers, I will try to think of happy memories and smile," said Carter. Charlotte shared that whenever she felt sad, she looked for signs of her family all around her. Sometimes she found a purple sunset, sometimes purple flowers, and other times she sat with a stick that she and her father used to play with together. Carter realized that reminders of his family were everywhere, and if he needed to smile, he could just look around and remember. Suddenly, a star came shooting down from the sky and crashed into the ground. Charlotte and Carter rushed over to the star, who was crying. "Are you hurt?" asked Charlotte. "Are you okay?" asked Carter. The star continued to cry, but when she calmed down, she finally replied, "I was with my mommy, daddy, and my brother, but then I just started falling and I couldn't stop." "Did you see them fall with me?" asked the star. Charlotte and Carter looked at one another with sadness in their eyes because they knew that they had just found another friend who had lost their family. Carter said, "No, we only saw you fall, but we also lost our families. Charlotte was just showing me a beautiful sunset that reminds her of her mother when we saw you fall." "But where did my family go? Or where did I go? I'm so scared," said the star. "It's okay to be scared. Carter and I lost our families too. They went away and they won't be coming back. You might feel sad, scared, or angry, but we can try to help you. What's your name?" "Lyra," replied the star. "What's your name?" "I'm Carter," said the butterfly, "and this is Charlotte." Charlotte and Carter explained to Lyra that reminders of her family are everywhere, and all she needs to do is look for them. Lyra realized that she could look up at the stars in the night sky to help her remember her family. The elephant, butterfly, and star all sat together by the watering hole, sharing stories about their families until they fell asleep. Charlotte, Carter, and Lyra were awakened the next morning by the sound of birds singing. Lyra had a smile on her face while she hummed along to the song. "How are you feeling today?" Charlotte asked Lyra. "I'm still sad, but the birds are singing such a lovely song that I can't help but smile." Charlotte, Carter, and Lyra sat together and listened to the sound of the birds singing for the rest of the morning. They learned that music could help them when they felt sad, angry, or scared. Some days Lyra didn't want to play with Carter and Charlotte, but Charlotte encouraged her friends to take care of themselves every day. She reminded them to eat their meals, get a good night's sleep, clean themselves up, and to play and exercise every day. Charlotte explained to her friends that it is important to keep doing things to take care of yourself, even if you are feeling sad. The friends all noticed that even if they felt sad and didn't feel like eating or playing, they usually felt better after they did. One day, Charlotte noticed Carter riding in the dirt with sticks. "What are you doing?" she asked. "I missed my family today, so I'm writing them a message. I'm not sure if they can see it, but it makes me feel like I'm talking to them again," Carter responded. Charlotte thought this was a great idea and began to do the same thing. They both spelled out messages to their families, telling them how much they missed them and all about the new friends that they had made. Lyra just watched her two friends writing for a while, but eventually she began to make shapes out of sticks. "What are you doing?" asked Carter. "I'm not sure what to say to my family, so I thought I would just make some pictures that they could look at instead." The three friends spent the rest of the day drawing and writing and felt happy they were able to express their feelings in this way. One morning, Carter and Lyra woke up to find Charlotte crying. She was crying so much that she couldn't even talk, and when they asked her what was wrong. After a few moments, Charlotte went to a nearby watering hole and splashed cold water onto her head. As she sat there splashing herself, she began to calm down. Her friends approached her again and asked her what was wrong. "Today is my birthday, and I woke up and I missed my family. I couldn't stop crying, but I remembered that my mommy taught me once to spray water on my head because that would help calm me down. And it worked." "That's such a cool trick. We will have to try that the next time we feel like we can't control our feelings." Later on that day, when Lyra was feeling angry, Charlotte reminded her of the new trick that she had taught them. Lyra went to the watering hole and splashed herself. Within a few minutes, she was feeling more in control of her feelings. Some days, Carter loved to sit quietly, without moving, for a long time. One day, Charlotte asked what he was doing when he was so still. "I'm meditating," he said. "What is meditating?" Lyra said. Carter explained that meditating is a way to calm yourself down by having your body and your mind be still. Carter shared that he started meditating in a calm place, like his favorite flower, and then started to pay attention to his breathing. If his thoughts started going to something other than inhaling and exhaling, he reminded himself to just focus back on his breath. "Can we try it together?" Charlotte asked. The friends spent the rest of the day practicing meditation. Sometimes the friends became frustrated because their minds were thinking all sorts of different things, but Carter patiently reminded them not to feel frustrated and just focus back on their breathing if they got too distracted. "Oh, it's all my fault. I shouldn't have run away from my parents, and then I would still be with them," Lyra thought out loud. Sometimes the friends would have thoughts like this that made them feel sad or angry or scared. Charlotte taught her friends that sometimes their thoughts can be not true or not helpful, and that thoughts can change the way that we feel. Charlotte explained, "When I wake up, I always tell myself something I'm grateful for and the things I'm looking forward to. Today, when I woke up, I said I'm grateful for my new friends and I'm looking forward to playing with them today." Charlotte explained how thoughts like these make her feel happy and excited. Charlotte asked Lyra to try and change her thoughts to be more true and helpful. Lyra had trouble, but Charlotte and Carter were able to help her. Eventually, Lyra was able to change her thoughts to, "It's not my fault and I will always miss my parents and my brother, but I am grateful to have found friends who are like my new family." Although Lyra was still sad about her parents, she now felt a little sad and a little happy, which helped her to smile and play with her friends. Charlotte, Carter, and Lyra continued to spend their days together. Some days were happy and full of laughter and fun. Other days were sad and filled with frowns and tears. By giving each other comfort, they realized that it is normal to have days with different feelings. They learned that on sad days, if they talked to each other and tried to keep busy, they usually felt better. They noticed that as time moved forward, they had less sad days and more happy days. "You know," said Charlotte one day, "I think the thing that has been most helpful is finding new friends who sometimes feel sad too." Carter smiled. "Yes, when I feel sad, I know that you and Lyra understand, and that makes me feel less alone." Lyra looked off into the night sky and said to Charlotte and Carter, "I don't know what I would have done if I hadn't met you both." The end. The next page, only one of the pages of 2 is shown. This is the parent guide in the back of the book. And so on each of the bottom of the pages of the storybook, it will say parent guide number 1, which is about therapy, parent guide number 2, which is about identifying symbols for their loved ones. So this is just a guide that kind of explains a little bit more to parents about the different techniques and coping skills that are introduced into the book. Behind the characters, Charlotte Nicole Nickson was born sleeping on September 7, 2014 due to complications from preeclampsia. Preeclampsia is a condition that develops in up to 8% of pregnancies and can cause life-threatening complications for both the mother and the unborn child. It typically occurs after 20 weeks of pregnancy and up to 6 weeks postpartum. Symptoms of preeclampsia in the mother include high blood pressure, extreme swelling of the hands and feet, vision changes, or headaches that don't respond to medication. It can also cause growth restriction and premature delivery of the baby. It can be life-threatening for both the mother and the unborn baby. Currently, the cause of preeclampsia is unknown, but there have been significant developments in research over the past 20 years to begin to understand this condition. There is also no known treatment or cure for preeclampsia, other than delivering the baby, though this can lead to infant death or long-term health complications from being born early. Larissa faced severe, life-threatening complications from preeclampsia, and Charlotte had to be born before her body could function outside the womb. Larissa and her family walk in memory of Charlotte every year at the New Jersey Promise Walk for Preeclampsia and support the Preeclampsia Foundation's mission to save the lives of moms and babies by providing education to pregnant women and their families, and funding research to determine the cause and cure for preeclampsia. If you'd like to hear more about Carter and Lyra's stories, you can find the book on Amazon and Kindle Unlimited. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you.